Welcome back to Dummy Boy Finance. I'm Dummy Boy, and today was one of those rare and special days where our entire penny stock watch list was red. I don't think we saw a sliver of green today. With these kind of days, it really tests those investors who may not be really sure about an investment and may potentially want to sell for a loss because of the amount of red days that we have seen. So before we get into the stocks, I want to go over this article right here. So this is High Point Advisor Group LLC, and this article basically tells us what these guys have been buying and selling. This is a very large hedge fund that has a lot of capital. And so if we look at new purchases, there's three stocks that I want to mention. The last one right here you can see is MJNA. We have WDLF right here, and then we have SNDL. And so I'm not going to go over this entire article, but you could see it tells you what they've sold out of, what they've reduced their positions in, increased, and etc. So the biggest thing I wanted to mention is three of the stocks on our watch list a big hedge fund has opened a position in, and so that should tell you something. First stock on our watch list is Humble. So Humble had a day where we were down 5%. We broke down from our wedge. We actually never really got our back test of this line of resistance, and so I do expect to see us kind of cross over, get back into this wedge, and then trade and follow out this pattern until we get a distinct movement. This could have been a bear trap. You can see our MACD on the 30-minute time frame has crossed over, so this right here is extremely bullish, and so I want to see overall if we can claw our way back into this channel. However, right now we are below our 50 SMA. The markets are taking a beating, but they can only take a beating for so long, and so when you have a stock that is so strong fundamentally, that is going to take over an entire generation's worth of ideas, this stock is the way to go. And so I am betting my house here on Humble, and so whether or not we go up or down from this point, this is a long-term hold. Any weakness in share price is a buying opportunity in my opinion, but let's just wait until this April 13th mark, which is tomorrow, to see where we go. So on April 14th and 15th, we will start to get the distinction and the direction that the stock is going to go. So if after that point we start to creep up a little bit, that would be an extremely bullish sign. But if after the 14th we start to break down, we could see some more weakness. And so if we do end up pushing to the downside and breaking down, I have two levels of support that I will be watching. The first one right here at around $1.90, and so this coincides with the top of this peak right here. I do think this becomes a key level of support to average down, which would be my first level of support. And then my second level of support would be here on this uptrend. And so this one is not that strong of a pattern, but we could see lows here. And so with these two levels of support, these are loading zones. And even at this level, this is still a loading zone. And so overall with HMBL, we are still looking extremely bullish in the long term. On a technical day-to-day level, we should get a better sense of movement in the next couple days. Next stock of the day, we're looking at WDLF, Social Life Network. So we were down today 8%. And so one thing I want to go over before I even get into the technical analysis, we're looking at WDLF on the monthly time frame, and what you see down here, these bars are indicative of the volume that we've seen, whether it's buying or selling. And so for the last 5 months, you can see we've had extraordinary buying, but we've had extremely little selling. And so this little selling coincided with this huge sell-off. And so that does not make sense to me. And so when I see a chart with such great green buying volume, any weakness in share price is a buying opportunity. And so today I doubled down on WDLF. You guys know I've been chipping away, buying some shares here on WDLF, and today I did double down. And so overall, I am long on WDLF. I have a short-term price target of about 7 cents here. And so you guys can see these are levels of resistance that we are going to face here in WDLF. So the first one would be here at around 0.038, the second one being here at around 7 cents, and then the third one being here at around 10 cents. I believe in the long term that WDLF will break through all of these levels of resistance and eventually break higher. But in the short term, before we do, these are levels to watch, and these are levels that I'm watching. Always remember, in the short term, stocks trade irrationally off of momentum, off of hype, off of speculation, off of whatever. but long-term theses usually align with fundamentals of a company, and right now the fundamentals of this company look extremely bullish, extremely positive, and so I believe very strongly that the fundamentals will align with the share price, which will be a lot higher than what we are today. But right now, any weakness in share price, in my opinion, is a great opportunity to buy. You can see nobody is really selling their shares, so I would love to be buying yours if you do sell them. And so if the lower we go, I will be buying up more. Next stock of the day, we're looking at IGEN on the 30-minute time frame. So IGEN was another stock that I did slightly average down today. I did not double down just yet, but I did want to bring my cost basis down, and so I did do that. We were down about 9% today. You can see we are in this descending triangle right here, and so we broke down today to the downside. You can see when we broke down, we are now right below our 200-day SMA, and so the price action has been extremely bearish here on IGEN. We really want to be above this level right here at a penny. So if I pull this here onto the daily, there's a couple things that I want to mention. There is still more room to the downside in my opinion here on IGEN. I do think we could get as low as 0.08 and then trade this as a level of support. And so the reason why I believe that is because since the bottom of this price action here on IGEN, we have been on a steady uptrend, and we have been holding this level as a line of support, and so we are very close to that point right now. And so I would not be surprised at all if we get to this level. And so on this level of support, I would be going crazy on my average down. That is why I wanted to just get a little bit of my price down here today, just in case we don't get down to this level. However, there are no signs of us curling up just yet. We have a pending lawsuit, and so we still have a lot of time until the conclusion of that. So I do expect further bleeding, and when we do, once we get to this level of support, I will be doubling and tripling down my position on IGEN, because I am currently down around 30% on my trade, and so it's not looking hot right now. But overall, the long-term outlook is still the same. Nothing has changed with IGEN. They are extremely bullish, just not enough eyes watching this. And again, over time, the fundamentals will align with the share price. And so until then, I am going to buy up any weakness and buy the fear. Next stock of the day, we're looking at SEGI on the daily time frame. Right now, we're trading below our 100-day SMA. Clearly, there is no setup right now on SEGI. Our MACD is still parallel with our signal line. Our RSI, however, is starting to get low. So if we test a bottom of this 30 RSI, that would be a nice little short-term bottom. However, right now with SEGI, really no conclusive price action. We are just kind of in no man's land between our 100 and our 200 SMA. Next stock of the day, we're looking at MJNA on the daily time frame. So MJNA was down about 9% today, and we saw a hedge fund open up a position on this. You guys know I am a strong believer here on MJ, especially at these prices. I think you cannot go wrong here by buying and holding MJNA. The future of cannabis is here, and this is going to be one of the biggest plays, even if it's not going to get as high as people want. Based off the name alone, this is going to be a very accepted stock, and it's going to just run based off the name. And so overall, that is one of the biggest reasons why I like MJNA, because it's tackling the medical side rather than the recreational side. And if the recreational side starts to take off, we are going to see a lot more treatments on the medical side get approved, and once that happens, this stock is going to go crazy, and it's just a matter of when. And so just on the monthly time frame, I just want to show you guys exactly what I'm looking at. The buying and selling, a lot better buying, a lot less selling. MACD is pushing positive, extremely bullish. And so you guys already know how I feel about this stock, but just remember, because we have been in this wedge this very long time, this is going to be a level of resistance that's going to be extremely tough to break through. But once we do, you guys already saw a little teaser of what happened when we did. So now is the next move. Once we get that really solid back test of this level of support, this is when MJNA is going to start to go. But right now, there are no real signs. I just believe at these prices, the stock is a steal. Next stock of the day, we're looking at ALYI on the 30-minute time frame. So we're only down 3.2%. Nothing really to talk about here. We've been trading sideways. We are still above a key level of support, but we are below our 50 SMA. And so we have been very close to our 50 SMA, so I would not be surprised if we just claw our way back. But until we break down from this level of support, there's nothing really to watch here on ALYI. This looks like a healthy consolidation on a stock, and we are starting to simmer down here with our RSI. Next stock of the day, we're looking at HYSR HYSR on the 30-minute time frame, and again, we are in no man's land. We were down almost 8% here between our 200 and our 100 SMA, and so now that our 200-day SMA is in line here with a level of support, I would not be shocked at all to see HYSR backtest this 200-day SMA. We never really got it over here, and so I would not be surprised if we do get it here. We had a backtest of support, and if we come back down here, that could be a double bottom, and that would be a very nice time to be getting into HYSR. I think anything below 8 cents on HYSR is a super steal, and so that would be a good entry position. And if it does go down even further, even better, you get to average down and hold a very nice stock at a very cheap price. Next stock of the day, looking at ACDC. So you guys know with ACDC, we have this gap here at 27 cents that we need to fill before anything can happen. And so we are starting to break down here to the downside. We're down 9%. And so I do expect that downside momentum to keep pushing. And I think we will find a bottom here on our 100-day SMA. And so if you guys are watching this video, remember, when this gap is filled, that is going to be an extremely nice buying opportunity on ACDC. And so that is exactly what I'm waiting for, and that coincides very nicely with our 100-day SMA. And so overall, I do like how that is positioning out. Overall with ACDC, still be patient. I think there's still a lot more room to the downside in the short term. Next stock of the day, looking at High Tide on the 30-minute time frame. So High Tide is my favorite cannabis play by far. We were down 5.48% here. We are below our 50 SMA, but we did hold this level of support, which does coincide as the bottom of our wedge. And so right now, as long as we can hold this line, these are buying opportunities on High Tide. And so if we continue just to hover along this level, that will be very nice, because that will keep our RSI down, and on MACD will start to kind of just level out a little bit. But overall, I do like the prospects of this company for the future, and so we will find out after April 27th where this one wants to go. Until then, I do anticipate High Tide to continue to trade in this wedge. Next stock of the day, we're looking at SNDL on the 30-minute time frame. So you guys remember, SNDL was one of the companies that one of those hedge funds did buy, and so at these levels, I cannot blame them, because at 93 cents, you are getting a highly volatile stock that can go up just as fast as it's been going down, and vice versa. And so we saw extreme run up right here, and since then we have just been trading sideways and bleeding here to the downside. We have found a short-term bottom here on our 100-day SMA, but it doesn't look like it's going to hold. You could see our 30 got rejected by our signal line, and that could lead to more downside. If I pull this out here to our daily time frame, we still have a little bit more room to go down to on our RSI, and it doesn't seem like we have any sort of signal that we are about to curl up here on our MACD. We are very parallel, and so right now we are still bullish on SNDL until we get back above our 50 SMA and even this short-term level of resistance at $1.20. But at these levels, I do believe you are going to get a nice return on your investment for the long term buying at these prices, but I do think we could go even lower in the short term, and so be very careful with SNDL right now. Overall, this is a company that is only going to capitalize on hype. On the basis and the fundamentals of this company, I am not a fan of them. I've already told you guys a bunch of times, I believe in High Tide a lot more than I believe in SNDL, but because there's so many people watching SNDL, the stock gets pumped very frequently, and so just off a simple trade, this is a very nice solid pump and dump play in my opinion. There you guys have it. That was our quick little update on all of the stocks that we are watching. Today was a very tough day. We haven't seen a day like this where everything is red, but we have just been getting absolutely destroyed in the OTC market. Those of you who have been able to withstand this volatility, I congratulate you guys, because that is probably the hardest part about the game. When it comes to investing, it comes to trading, the easiest part is pressing the button to buy or sell. The hardest part is holding, especially when you see a lot of your money start to go down. And so if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to like. We are on the road to 10K subs, so if you made it to this point, feel free to hit that subscription button. This is Dummy Boy Finance. I'm Dummy Boy, and I'll see you guys in the next one.